want you to read what's on my chest if you can. It says, respect all, fear none. That is the philosophy I subscribe to in life. And I want to say something now about the banks in Nigeria, the ones I've had to deal with. Specifically yesterday, I dealt with two banks. Zenith Bank, where I tried to use the ATM, and GT Bank, from which I had to withdraw money through the Zenith Bank portal. I went to the Zenith Bank account, the ATM machine, because I saw that there were no customers queued up there. There was absolutely nobody there. All right, and I had noticed before I got to that bank that all the other bank branches had queues, and it was just one ATM or two that were working. I think one for most part. So I felt, oh, this one that has nobody, let me just quickly try. So I asked the security guy, can I use this machine? Is there money in it? He says yes. I proceed to use it. I request for 5,000 naira by pushing the 5,000 naira button. And we all know how to use the ATM machines, and I'm not a child. I've been using the ATM machines for over 20 years. And then the machine proceeds to make the whirring sound as if it's going to dispense cash. All right, and then I see on the screen transaction completed. I did not see any money. The machine goes silent. I turn to the security guard and I tell him, hey chairman, this thing is not giving me any money. What is the reason why? He suddenly becomes impatient with me and tells me, if you no come out, then go to your bank and this and that. And I said, won't you even take a look at it? It says transaction completed. It made a noise as if it was going to give me. Is it possible that the thing is stuck? This could be at your end and not the bank. He said, the other one comes and said, oh God, this and that, and they just become extremely impatient with me, and they keep telling me, if you don't go like that, that means you go reverse, you go see her, you go tell your bank, then go do, and you go take how many days. They were already telling me all the things that will happen as if they knew upfront what to expect. They didn't even bother to investigate it. They didn't even come near me. You understand? Now, I chose to go into the banking hall, and the bank, and I requested to do head of operations, not for any other reason than just to put on record my displeasure with the manner in which they responded to me at the ATM machines. And I told her very clearly, I said, I will include Zenith Bank in the complaint I'm going to make about the failed transaction regarding my withdrawal from the GT Bank account. I'm going to include Zenith Bank because of the attitude that those people displayed when they were attending to me. And I said, it is not the first time I've had that issue with Zenith. So I just left. Then I went to GT Bank. Guess what happens? I go to customer support. For some reason, no crowd there, thankfully. So I get to speak with this lady within about 5 minutes of arrival. I talk to this lady and tell her, I have not finished saying what I'm trying to say. I have not finished describing the experience I had, which is peculiar, because I haven't told you what the experience that makes mine peculiar is. And she's already telling me, oh, you pushed the button twice. Now let me tell you why she said I pushed the button twice. I complained to her that I pushed the button for 5,000 naira. I pushed 5,000 naira button. It shows transaction completed. I get the security guys refusing to cooperate with me. So out of curiosity, I said, let me even check this one that they're already telling me if that's taking my money. And how do they know it's taking my money? You know, it might not have gone through. So I decided to check on another ATM terminal. Turns out it didn't even deduct 5,000 naira from my account. The system deducted 10,000 naira from my account. Mind you, the button for 5,000 naira was in bottom left. Button for 10,000 naira was on the other side. I didn't go to the other side. And you can imagine, 5 is very different from 10. It's not a matter of mistakes. And like I said before, this machine made the sound. Now, the thing is, how do you press 5 and 10 then comes out? It gets debited from your account. That's when I got to the GT Bank lady. The customer service woman was already telling me, because I pushed the button twice. And I said, how does that make any sense? If I push the button twice while the thing is still in process, trying to give me the first request I made, why would it then deduct twice? It doesn't follow. You have to do another transaction. And I told her, I said, you know this is true. And I requested to speak with the head of operations. She sends me upstairs to the middle floor. I go to the middle floor. I talk to the woman there. I just request to speak with somebody who's the head of whatever. And this lady walks up to me from the middle of the counter there and says, oh yes, what's the problem? And I begin to tell her. She still again does not allow me to finish. Immediately she tells me, oh, that's network. And I said, how does network explain the fact that I pushed the button for 5,000 and I'm getting 10,000 naira being deducted from my account? She says, oh, you know this is Nigeria. And I said, you as my banker, the explanation you have for this unpleasant experience I'm having is that this is Nigeria. You that you're supposed to explain to me and sort it out are already telling me that you are comfortable with the arrangement where I am on the losing end of a transaction with you. So I then proceed to ask her, I say, hold on, if I did not have any money in this bank, is it possible for me to come to the ATM of your bank and put in my card and cash money. She said no. I said, so the system never fails where it has to do with me taking what is not due to me. In other words, me getting cash when I don't have cash. But the system always conveniently fails when it has to do with you guys taking money from me and other customers, even when it is not right for you. In other words, making an illegal deduction. I said, now this one, what you are telling me about now, is not even scientifically, it's not, but in terms of physics, it doesn't work. The system is not designed to work like that. And you are so quick to explain it to me that is the network. How do you explain that the network takes 10,000 when I push the button for 5,000? This makes no sense. And then she proceeds to tell me to fill it form. I refuse. I said, I'm not going to fill it form. And I'm going to make a lot of noise about this. Now, there's a rule that the central bank has. They must respond to you in 3 days and all that when you make a complaint. So this morning I'm taking this video, I'm going to post it. This is a pre-video. Now I'm going to do a post video in 3 days time. Thank God today is Tuesday, so I have 3 days. I'm going to get to Friday, I believe, or Thursday, and I'm going to post a follow-up, after which I'm going to make a complaint officially about this bank. Now this is not the first time I've had this kind of experience with them. There was a time I had to come from Cotonou because of 10,000 naira after a whole month. And I was talking to the branch manager at Allen Avenue. The man never responded, even though he was blue ticking all my WhatsApp messages. He was using it. He gave me his number before I traveled. And yet when I told him what happened at the POS in Benin Republic, he didn't respond until I came to Nigeria. And then I had to follow it up all the way to the Okwebie branch. This is madness. These people feel comfortable because they know that either way they make money. You see, when they send you to the POS, they still make money. In fact, they make more money than if you use the ATM machine. So the fewer ATM machines are working, the better for them. They tell you it's because they don't have cash, but it still doesn't make sense. Give us seamless, problem-free transaction. They do not do that. Now, I want you to understand, or I want the bankers to understand. If you know any of them, if you feel inclined, you can send this to them. But the point I'm making, and I'm going to show this to the bank people so that they understand why I'm deliberately doing what I'm doing, is that they need to learn to put themselves in the shoes of the customers. I think they are extremely insensitive. I think they are self-centered, and I think they are too negatively profit-driven. If it wasn't the case, why is it that they are so comfortable with having customers incur this kind of error? All right, when they could as well prevent it from happening? I'll give you an example. Oh, I go to the bank and she's telling me, oh, it's the network, this is Nigeria. Why should you be so comfortable telling me that? If it was costing the bank money, if they were losing money because of that network thing, they would find a solution to it within hours, not even 24 hours, within hours. The reason why there's no motivation for them to find solutions to it is because it even gives them more money to play with. It puts them in a better position to make more profits, because either way, the inefficiency to push people to want to avoid a repeat occurrence. So they settle for POS systems. The POS systems get more money into their coffers, because if we were to go to the ATM, you don't get charged as much as if you go to the POS. So the point at the end of the day is that the bankers are fleecing customers. Now, Nigerians are a very funny lot. The things they should agitate about, the things they should become militants about, they don't become militants about. It's the things that don't matter that they begin to make noise about. I am not speaking for everybody, but I'm speaking for those people who, when they want to go and cash their last 10,000 naira, this kind of thing can happen to them. Imagine somebody that has a balance of 10,000. This has happened to me before. I'm doing so well now, but there was a time when that balance would have just been 10,000. And then I will have this error happen. It means I will not have money to say to my children. I will not have money to travel. This is the kind of thing that they are causing. They are literally causing people pain, and they don't give a damn about it. The point I am making is that I will make them pay for it by giving them negative publicity if they do not change the way they operate. Thank you.
This man was beyond woke.
The reason education sucks is the same reason that it will never, ever, ever be fixed. Because the owners of this country don't want that. I'm talking about the real owners now. The real owners, the big wealthy business interests that control things and make all the important decisions. Forget the politicians. The politicians are put there to give you the idea that you have freedom of choice. You don't. You have no choice. You have owners. They own you. They own everything. They own all the important land. They own and control the corporations. They've long since bought and paid for the Senate, the Congress, the state houses, the city halls. They got the judges in their back pockets. And they own all the big media companies, so they control just about all of the news and information you get to hear. They spend billions of dollars every year lobbying to get what they want. Well, we know what they want. They want more for themselves and less for everybody else. But I'll tell you what they don't want. They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking. They don't want well-informed, well-educated people capable of critical thinking. They're not interested in that. That doesn't help them. That's against their interest. That's right. You know what they want? They want obedient workers. Obedient workers. People who are just smart enough to run the machines and do the paperwork and just dumb enough to passively accept all these increasingly shittier jobs with the lower pay, the longer hours, the reduced benefits, the end of overtime.